Hi, my name is Dr. Stacy Zolkowski, and I'm part of the UT Tyler Special Education faculty. I will be serving as our moderator today for a question and answer session. I'm going to let my colleagues introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jessica Reeder, and I'm one of the 3 special education faculty here at UT Tyler.
Hi, I'm Dr. Frank Dykes, and I have the privilege of serving as the Educational Diagnostician Program Coordinator here at UT Tyler.
Okay, well, I guess I will go ahead and ask my first question. What is an educational diagnostician?
You know, Stacy, that's a great question because many times I think so many people have a misconception of what an educational diagnostician is. They see a person wheeling in test kits into a school and they think all they do is test. And really, this job is multifaceted. A person does do testing, but at the same time, they're also required to go to ARD meetings, a variety of different ARD meetings. They're asked to work with parents. They're asked to work with teachers and administrators. So it really is a multifaceted job, and you have to have different job skills for each of those areas. I think the main thing you have to look at is the fact that this job is very litigious, and you have to keep the school in legal compliance with state and federal law. And also just to remember sometimes that a diagnostician may have anywhere from 140 to 150 students on their caseload. Ooh. So when you think about an educational diagnostician, I always like to put those things out there to let people know it's a job that has many facets to it, and you just won't be doing one thing on a daily basis.
Okay, so what is the time commitment involved in the educational diagnostician program here at the university?
Well, Stacy, we are really proud of our program here at UT Tyler. We've worked really hard to create and build a program that meets the needs of the educational community here in Texas. The time commitment for our program is a little different than most traditional or text-based graduate programs in that our program is building hands-on assessment skills to mastery. And our assessment courses and many of our seminar courses are applied courses where they are hands-on. For example, in our assessment courses, you'll be expected to administer norm-referenced instruments to clients in the community. And then after you administer these norm-referenced instruments, you have to score and do the report writing. So you're approximately looking around 15 to 20 hours per week for each instrument that you administer. In our seminar courses, where you will be doing many long-term semester projects, you're probably looking at a time commitment of anywhere between 6 to 10 hours for those courses per week.
So then, can you explain further on exactly how many semesters it takes to complete this program?
The program is a two-year program, and you will take 2 courses each semester, starting with the summer semester.
Okay, interesting. What resources what resources would a student need to have in order to participate in this program?
And that's a good question. Our program is going to be a little bit different. You know, when you think of college courses, you think, well, I need a textbook and I'll need some other things of that nature. And in our courses, you will need those items. But some other things that you're going to need to participate in this program is, of course, you're going to have a computer, since we're 100% online. You're going to need to have a webcam because we do a lot of online conferencing back and forth with students, so you're going to need that. You're going to need a smartphone of some fashion, whether it's an iPhone or a Galaxy, Samsung, or whatever it is that you may have. You're going to need a tablet many times is also something that's needed. I think the biggest thing that is something that you're going to need is you're going to need access to the school district's test kits. We have anywhere from 35 to 50 people in our program, and for us to purchase 50 test kits is really cost prohibitive at the university. So we ask students who are going to be in the program to, first of all, even before they apply for this program, to check with their district to see if they're going to be allowed to use test kits in their school district. They're not going to need the test kit every night. There's specific times when they're going to need it. But that's one of the main things that people who want to participate in our program really need to check out prior to even thinking about applying.
Okay, so you mentioned that the program is 100% online. What technological skills are needed for students?
Well, because our program is 100% online, there are certain skills or technology skills that you might need to participate in our program. The first would be able to navigate our learning management system and be able to submit assignments and to work through the course requirements of each course. Because we are working towards mastery of administering norm-referenced intelligence and achievement tests, you'll need to be able to video record and have video recording equipment that manages large amounts of data from anywhere. Some of these tests can be anywhere from 2 to 4 hours.
Oh, wow.
So you'll need to have video equipment and be able to operate the video equipment. You'll also need to be able to submit video recordings using Athena, which is a video leveraging tool, and you'll be expected to do some peer review and peer coaching of your colleagues using Athena. Of course, you'll be expected to have basic email, word processing, PowerPoint skills, and you'll need access to a high-quality scanner and be able to scan multiple pages into one PDF document. The other thing that you'll need to be able to do is to participate in video conferencing on a regular basis and be able to manage the Zoom video conferencing tool that we use in our program.
Okay. So what sets the UT Tyler program apart from other institutions that might have a diagnostician program?
Well, I think the first thing is the fact that we have the best faculty. I mean, that's
Absolutely.
very obvious that we have the best
Clearly.
faculty, so that's the main thing right there. I think another thing is that we are 100% online, so we're not asking you to do something online and then to come to university 2 or 3 times a year. We are strictly 100% online, which really does set us apart in many from other institutions. We do a program in a cohort style, which means you are moving through the program with your peers who enter at the same time that you do, which we find is a good way to build a support network and a sharing network with each other. I think the number one thing that sets us apart from any other institution in the state of Texas is that we have spent the time video recording ourselves, actually administering the instruments, scoring the instruments, and then interpreting. And what we have found in our research when we even started this program is that many institutions would be 100% online, but all they would do is give the test manual to the student and ask them to read the test manual and then to go out and test the student. And ethically, we didn't feel that we could do that. We wanted to provide a good support network of videos that a student could go back and watch time and time again to familiarize themselves with what they were doing before we asked them to go out into the community and test a student. So I think that's the number one thing that sets UT Tyler apart from any other Texas institution that's offering a diagnostician program.
Absolutely, that's great. What skill set does a student applying for this program need in order to be successful?
Another great question and very pertinent to a program such as ours at UT Tyler. I guess the most important skill that a person who would be interested in this program is self-discipline. Mm-hmm. They need to have the self-discipline in order to manage the rigors of our program, balance their family life, their work, professional career, and their personal life. Along with that, being a self-disciplined person, you must be really organized to be able to manage all of the many facets of your life. And you must be a self-starter because this is a 100% online program. Really, you have to have a strong work ethic and you have to be able to persevere even when you are faced with challenges either from the rigors of the program, your family, your personal life, and have people skills in your communication, face-to-face communications, your written communications, your emails, your video conferencing with your colleagues and your classmates, and with the clients and the parents that you will work with in the field. Those are the main things that you will need as to be able to possess for this program.
Okay. Frank, could you tell me just a little bit about the structure of this program?
Sure. I kind of alluded to a little bit earlier in the fact that we are a cohort program, which means that you are precluded from self-selecting any courses. We have already devised the courses into certain semesters. As a faculty, we spent time looking and making sure that each of those courses prepared you for the next semester. Each one builds upon the other one. So that's why we do a cohort style. We want to build upon those skills so that when you get to the end of the program, you're well versed in what an educational diagnostician does on a daily basis. Unfortunately, since we are a cohort program, and if there was a time when you needed to drop a course because you couldn't continue on, unfortunately, you can't just pick up with the next semester because you're already behind. So what we tell people is when they're applying for the program, to please remember that we're a cohort, and if you had to drop a course, then you're going to have to reapply to the program. And we always like to tell people that ahead of time so that they know that information.
Yeah, absolutely. Do courses from another university transfer to this university?
The policy at UT Tyler is that 9 hours will transfer to graduate studies at the discretion of your advisor. But there are some rules for this. First, you must submit a deficiency plan. And then second, you must submit your transcripts and sometimes your course syllabi so your advisor can review the course syllabi and see if it's a good fit for the university or for the program. And then finally, assessment courses do not transfer. You have to take all of your assessment courses here at UT Tyler.
I'm not sure, I'm not familiar. What's a deficiency plan?
A deficiency plan is when you are asked to submit a request for us to look at your transcripts to determine if you're wanting to transfer information in, we need to see what those courses were. In some instances, we can just look at the prefix and know that it may be a match for us, but in some cases, we have to have that person actually send their syllabus to us so that we can see, does this match the objectives that our courses do, so that we can consider transferring that or saying, no, unfortunately, this one won't transfer because it doesn't meet our objectives, our student learning outcomes, and the objectives of our program.
Okay. Could you explain a little bit about the practicum requirements?
Sure. That's one of the first questions I get when people email me. They say, what are we required to do in practicum? Well, the Texas Education Agency requires that a student have a 160-hour practicum that they're required to do as part of their certification process. And so our students, we realize, are working. So in our program, we really try to make it where the student can be a student who's working and at the same time complete these practicum activities. It could be anywhere from things such as attending ARD meetings, actually testing students, writing evaluation reports. But I always like to tell people up front, there may be instances where you have to take off part of a day, take a personal day to do some of those tasks that we're asking you to do. I also tell people that your school district is under no obligation to let you do your practicum in the district.
Okay.
So unfortunately, we've run into some cases where a student's working in a district and they've asked to do their practicum there and the district said no. So they've had to go to a neighboring district to actually do their practicum. So I always tell people, check very early on in the program because you don't want to wait till the last minute to realize I've done all this and now my district won't let me do my practicum here. So we always ask them to check and make sure. So it's a requirement. Everybody who does a diagnostician certification program anywhere in the state of Texas is required to do that 160-hour practicum.
So the practicum, does that fall throughout this semester or is that at the end of the program?
It's at the very end of the program because we want them to have all the testing skills necessary. They need to be proficient in all of the different assessment instruments that we teach. We want them to be familiar with the law before they go out there and start doing their internship. So everything they have prior to that practicum has built upon those skills that they need to be an effective diagnostician intern in a school district.
Okay. Does an individual have to have a Texas teacher certification? And if so, why?
Yes, a person applying for our program in the state of Texas, because it's Texas specific, needs to have, required to have a Texas teaching certificate because the Texas Education Agency requires that every diagnostician that's certified in the state of Texas have 2 years of teaching experience in Texas.
Okay. Well, that wraps up my questions for today. So thank you for joining us, and we look forward to you being a part of our program. Have a great day.